Hello, my name is Kayleen Reusser. Welcome to another episode of Stories of World War II Veterans. Each week I'm reading stories from the 10 books that I have written about World War II based on interviews I've done with 260 World War II veterans. Today's story will be taken from Book 4 in my World War II Legacies series. It's called We Defended Freedom, Adventures of World War II Veterans. It will be talking about Robert Arbuckle, who served in the Navy. Our mission was to sink U-boats, said Robert Arbuckle of Evansville, Indiana. U-boat was the American military abbreviation of Unterseeboot, or undersea boat, referring to a German submarine. During World War II, Arbuckle was stationed with the United States Navy at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. The base of 200 personnel used flying boat patrol bombers and flying boat amphibious aircraft to monitor the waters of the Gulf of Mexico for German subs. Arbuckle's duties included working with diesel engines on the base's observation floatplanes called Vought, V-O-U-G-H-T, not sure how to pronounce that, OS2U Kingfishers. When floatplane crews saw a U-boat surface, they relayed the information to the base where machine gunners fired. If the enemy submerged, the Allies dropped depth charges. Despite the presence of U-boats, Germany never sent planes to bomb Cuba. It was a long way from their home, said Arbuckle. Born into a Quaker family in Lebanon, Indiana in 1922, Robert Arbuckle, like most Americans, had never heard of Pearl Harbor. But when news of the Japanese attack on the American Navy base on December 7th of 1941 was broadcast, he was certain he would be affected by war. He graduated from Fairmount High School in Indiana in 1941, and in October of 1942, he enlisted in the Navy. I wanted to serve somewhere warm and not sleep in a foxhole, he said. Arbuckle joined thousands of other young men for 2 months of basic training at Great Lakes Naval Training Center outside of Chicago. In a Quonset hut, they surrendered civilian clothes for uniforms. Every recruit's head was shaved. We knew we were part of a giant machine that was really cranking guys through, preparing to face the Japanese, he said. After basic training, Arbuckle trained at a diesel engine school in Richmond, Virginia. The Navy was building hundreds of landing crafts and diesel engines to be used by the Navy on ships. In January of 1943, Arbuckle was promoted from fireman 3rd class to 2nd class petty officer. The promotion included a transfer to Cuba. A treaty with then-President Fulgencio Batista allowed American troops in the country. Conditions at the Cuban base were primitive. No sidewalks or hangars for planes, soldiers slept in tents, drinking water was trucked in, and a thatched building with screens served as the chow hall. Despite the tropical locale with its challenges, Arbuckle was satisfied with his assignment. He remained in Cuba until May 1943, when the Navy made a decision that changed his life. All seamen were given paper exams to test proficiency in various areas. Arbuckle scored well enough on the college-level tests to be chosen to train as a commissioned officer. The V-12 Navy College Training Program was designed to add to the number of commissioned officers during the war. More than 125,000 men were chosen to participate in the program, enrolling in 131 institutions of higher learning. Arbuckle studied at DePaul University in Indiana. At times he felt out of his element. I was studying with brilliant guys who had won academic prizes, he said. He remained in the program for 8 months until the war ended. Arbuckle was then transferred to the USS South Dakota and promoted to Ensign Engineering Officer. In January of 1946, he was aboard the ship when it passed through the Panama Canal on its way to the Philadelphia shipyard. He was discharged in October 1946, but remained in the inactive Naval Reserves for 25 years. Arbuckle resumed his education at the University of Texas, graduating with a degree in naval engineering. He married, and he and his wife set up a sewing machine business in Noblesville, Indiana. Being in the Navy was the best thing that ever happened to me, he said. The war was lots of monotony, followed by seconds of honor. I was glad to serve. That is taken from my book, We Defended Freedom, Adventures of World War II Veterans. My name is Kayleen Reusser. I'm so thankful for all the veterans that we have in our country, and I want them to know how much we appreciate their service. Please subscribe to this channel and tell others about it. I will plan to be back with you next week for another exciting story of our American veterans. Thank you.